This video is a guide on the easiest way to make a sourdough starter. What you're gonna need is a scale, a jar, preferably two of the same jars if you have it. If not, there's another way, and we'll go over that in just a minute. Something to stir with, like a spoon, a rubber spatula to scrape down the sides of the jar, and some wheat flour. You can use any whole grain flour you want, but for this video, I'm gonna use whole wheat. And the reason we use whole wheat instead of white flour is because whole wheat has the bran and the germ, which has more nutrients for the yeast and bacteria that we're trying to cultivate. So using whole wheat flour or any kind of whole grain flour will make this process a little bit faster. So the first thing you wanna do is grab your jar, put it on the scale, and tear it out to 0. And then you're gonna grab your wheat flour and you're gonna put in 25 grams of wheat flour and 25 grams of filtered dechlorinated water. And to dechlorinate your water, all you have to do is pour water into your vessel and let it sit out overnight for 24 hours. And that should get rid of most of the chlorine. That's if you're getting your water out of the tap and filtering it. We do this because the chlorine can actually kill off this yeast and bacteria that we're trying to cultivate, so it's best to just dechlorinate your water. And make sure it's room temp as well. The next thing we're going to do is we're just going to scrape down the sides of the jar and flatten it out a little bit. And then we're going to put a lid on loosely and let it sit for 24 hours. For day number 2, not much has changed. You may or may not notice small bubbles on the side of your starter. If you do notice these bubbles, that's a sign of activity, which is good. If not, it's not a big deal. Just trust in the process. So for day number 2, we're just gonna follow the same exact steps as day 1, which is 25 grams of whole wheat flour and 25 grams of room temperature dechlorinated filtered water. From now on, I'm just gonna call it water so I don't have to say all that. And we're mixing that into the starter. And then you're gonna mix all that up together and let it sit at room temperature for another 24 hours. On day 3, you should start to notice a lot more activity in the starter, and it might even double or triple in size. This is a really good sign, and it should start to smell acidic, kind of like fingernail polish remover or something. If not, it's not a big deal. Just keep following these steps, and I promise you, by day 7, you'll have an active starter, as long as you're following these steps correctly. And when we're not feeding the starter, we don't really want to mess with it. We just want to leave it alone and let it do its thing, just so we don't deflate it and lose all our progress. Day number 3, we're going to do the exact same feeding as day 1 and 2. We're just going to keep the amount of starter that's in the jar already, and we're going to add 25 grams of flour and 25 grams of water. And then we're going to mix all that up together, put the lid on loosely, and let it sit this time for 12 hours. And within 12 hours, it should have signs of activity, at least a little bit. And this is where things are a little bit different this time. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove some of this mixture and only keep 50 grams of this starter to work with. And this is when that second jar will come in handy. Or like I said in the beginning, if you wrote down the weight of your jar first, it'll make this process a lot easier. So I'm gonna use another jar that's the exact same as the one I'm using for this starter. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weigh out that empty jar and tear it to 0, and then weigh the jar with the starter in it, and that'll give me the total weight of the starter alone that I have in the jar. So in this case, it's 150 grams of starter. So we're going to remove 100 grams of this starter and throw it in the garbage, or you can keep it and use it for other recipes or whatever you want to do with it, but we just need to reserve 50 grams of this starter. And then this 50 grams of starter that we're reserving, we're gonna feed this 50 grams of fresh flour and 50 grams of fresh water. Just like before, but with 50 grams instead of 25 grams. And if you don't have a second jar, but you wrote down the weight of your jar in the beginning, you can just place the jar you have with the starter in it on the scale, and whatever number you get, take that number and subtract the weight of the jar that you got in the beginning, and that should give you the amount of starter you have in your jar in grams. So this formula right now is 50 grams of starter, and we're feeding that with 50 grams of flour and 50 grams of water. And this will be the feeding that you feed your starter for the rest of its life. And from here, I recommend feeding it like this twice a day, just until you hit 2 weeks, and that'll make your starter really strong and active, and it'll produce you some really good sourdough bread. So what you have just made is your sourdough starter, and you make a leaven with your starter. So the starter that you just made, you're always gonna keep, and you're gonna take from that starter to seed a new starter essentially, which is called a leaven. And you're gonna use all of the leaven in your bread recipe. We'll talk more about that in a minute. So after 2 weeks of consistent feeding with your sourdough starter, the last feeding you give it, once it doubles in size and hits its peak, that's when you wanna throw it in the refrigerator. And from there, you really just need to feed it once a week, maybe even once every 2 weeks to keep it alive and healthy, to keep making you really good good sourdough bread. And the way you find out how much starter you need to make a leaven, you want to use baker's percentages. So what that means is you have 100% flour, and with that you'll use anywhere between 65 to 80% water, 2% salt, and 15 to 20% of starter. And in these baker's percentages, we're referring to starter as the leaven. So what's the difference between a starter and a leaven? Well, let me tell you. A starter is something you keep and you use to take from to start a leaven. A leaven, you use all of it in your recipe. A starter you take from and you use that to start a new one called a leaven, and a starter you feed and maintain, and a leaven you only use once. So in order to figure out how much starter you need to start a leaven, we need to go back to those baker's percentages. So let's say, for example, we're using 500 grams of flour, and with that we're also going to be using 20% of starter or leaven. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our calculator, we're going to type in 500 times 0.20, which is 20%, and we get 100. So that means that we need 100 grams of leaven. So how much starter do we need to use to get 100 grams of leaven? So we take 100 and we divide that by 3. Why divide it by 3? We're dividing it between the starter we need to use and the flour and water we need to use to feed it. So with this number, I'm just gonna round it to 35 to make it easy. So here's our answer right here. We need 35 grams of starter to make our leaven. So in order to make the leaven, we need to feed this 35 grams of starter with 35 grams of flour and 35 grams of water. And that'll give us a total of 105 grams, but that's okay. And that's how you figure out how much starter you need to use to start your leaven. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's get back to the starter. So we left off at the end of day 3, and day 3 was when we started feeding it twice a day, once every 12 hours. I also forgot to mention that around day 3 or day 4, you might notice less activity in your starter, which is totally normal. So if that does happen, don't worry, just keep following these steps, you'll be alright. So I went ahead and saved you the trouble of having to watch me feed this sourdough starter for the next 3 days again. So here we are on day 7. The last time I fed my starter was last night, 12 hours ago, and we're still feeding it twice a day. And we're gonna do this until we hit week 2. And once we hit week 2, the last feeding we give it, we're gonna wait for it to hit its peak when it rises, and then we're gonna throw it in the refrigerator. And from that point, we only need to worry about feeding it once a week or once every 2 weeks. I suggest once a week, but if you forget about it and have to do it once every 2 weeks or something, it's gonna die. No, I'm just kidding. That's totally fine. It's not gonna die. And on day 7, at this point, you can make bread with this, and it'll be just fine. It'll be delicious. It might take a little bit longer, but it's still possible. But if you wait till week 2, it's gonna be even better. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. If you're new and you want to see more cooking and recipe videos, hit that subscribe button. And if you do end up making a sourdough starter, let me know in the comments how it goes. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Alec, and until next time, have a great day.